Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Rangers Review. I'm delighted to be saying I'm joined by the new Carrick Rangers manager, Mr. Gary Haveron. Well Gary, how's it feel to be announced as the new manager of Carrick Rangers Football Club?
Yeah, it all still sinking in a bit like it is, obviously delighted to get the opportunity. Very disappointed obviously, because it means Michael's taking the decision to step down, but I'm completely very honoured now that he thinks enough of me that he wants to give me a chance now to manage him.
Well, it must have been a roller coaster of 48 hours given that Carrick Rangers were playing Institute on Saturday. Unfortunately it was a 5-1 defeat. Can you just talk us through the events that unfolded since that match?
It wasn't a knee-jerk reaction from Michael about that 5-1 result and then he's just gone off the back of that. I think Michael's had something in the back of his mind for a period of time. Only Michael can answer that properly for himself. But it wasn't a knee-jerk reaction to any result. He's other plans and other business ventures and different things that he needs to get involved in, and whatever is his long-term plan to become over here and manage and stuff. He's put the club in a great position. He's brought in a great squad of players. We really have a squad of players that should be at the right end of the table come the end of the season, and he's left the club in a really good position. So he has, we're sitting just third, fourth in the table at the minute still. So by no means not there's the worst team and worst position to inherit like so it is. So no, I'm sad to see him go because I had a great relationship with the gaffer, and I am disappointed that he's not going to be with us. But it's the start of something new for me to take forward. I'm going to try my damnedest not there to make sure I do him and the board proud.
When the phone call came through, when the phone rang and you answered it and the board were on the phone asking you to come for an interview for the job of Carrick Rangers, what was your initial thoughts when you had time to run that through your mind?
Yeah, it's something that's appealed to me for a long time now. So this is not a spare thing for me as well. It's just come out of the blue. Management's always appealed to me. My job is I make a living at coaching, so I do myself as sports development officer. So I've always had that in mind. I've come off the back of a couple injuries during my later stages of my career and stuff, and I always kind of made me realise that football playing side of things was never going to last me forever. So I always had one mind or one eye on the coaching roles, on the kind of managerial end of things. So the phone call came. It was a very quick one. Can you come up here this evening out there to come and meet them? I can understand Michael's reasons for wanting to do it very quickly. We do have a period now where we don't have a match for the next 2 weeks, so it gives myself obviously the opportunity to get to know the boys in a different kind of relationship that I have with them. I obviously know the players all very well. I know the setup of the club. I'm very, very comfortable there. I've been made to feel very welcome from day one, from whenever I stepped into the club.
Being at the club for the last season as you've been, did that just make it all easier, knowing the supporters, knowing the club, knowing the backroom team and the board, knowing what the club was all about? Did that just mean that it was a perfect fit and it was a job that you couldn't really turn down? It just felt right?
I certainly couldn't turn down. It's too good an opportunity as someone at my age now there to turn down. To know the squad of players and the potential that the club have, I'd be mad to turn this opportunity down. It probably went through my head is, am I ready for it? You're going to have them wee bits of doubts and stuff, but the only way I'm going to find out is by getting the opportunity and taking the opportunity. I certainly feel like I'm ready for it. I've been involved in football now. This is my 17th season involved in football. I went away at a very early age, which only helped expand my football knowledge, so to speak. I've been involved in a professional game over in England, and I see certain aspects of that game that I want to kind of help promote. Continue that professionalism that Michael brought to the club. I'm looking to build on it. So I am, but certainly, from day one I stepped in the door out there. Everybody's been great with me. The fans, the rapport I have with them has always been a good one. I know the players very well. The facilities and everything else is there in place now for me. So yeah, for that, the board have been brilliant too. They really have given me a great backing. They're a great bunch, and as a player, I always kind of made it my responsibility out there, because I did go on and captain quite a few of the clubs that I played for, but I also thought it was important out there to get to know the club a bit more. I always think yourself, you'll try that little bit harder, you'll work that bit harder for the people that you're going out there to play for, be it the fans and that there. If you get to spend a bit of time with them, build up that rapport with people, you know who you're representing, and the board is the same and stuff. I've made it my business to try and get to understand is how hard they work to bring in money to pay for facilities, to pay for costs out there at the ground and stuff like this. I understand the work that goes into it, so I don't take it for granted. And I think a lot of the players out there will have to be doing the same thing. This is something I'm going to promote. So the boys need to know who it is they're playing for. I'm under no illusions in that there. Some of our players were probably signed for Michael Hughes. I sat down out there, Michael Hughes was at my front room and I signed for him per se, like, I mean, as much as I signed for Carrick Rangers. I got up to see the facilities and everything else in the club and the different people around it, and it obviously, you know, it starts evolving out there and it becomes a bigger thing. I mean, but initially in that there, it was his presence and that, and then the kind of guy that he was out there, and what he's achieved over his career and stuff, that really lured me to the club.
Yeah.
I know all the players are going to be the same, but, you know, Michael was, you know, it's like anything else, the club will continue to go on. It will go on and it will hopefully go from strength to strength. You know, Michael has put in place excellent structures, so he has, you know, everything is there for us to kind of be successful. It's just a case of carrying that through onto the pitch and making sure we get the points and out there that we need to justify the work that's going on in the background by everybody, yourself included, you know, pride on. Do you know what I mean? Big pride on that, like, well, but it's people like that there, you know, that actually make a club a special club. Yeah. You know, anybody can play a football club, but it's them wee special, you know, people that are involved with clubs and that there that makes it a wee bit special. Yeah.
Well, you may not be aware, but your appointment today now means that you're the youngest Carrick Rangers manager since 1976, since Jimmy Brown infamously became the youngest ever manager to win a European trophy. But obviously, there's other managers who've came in more recently, like Gary Hamilton, like Glenavon, or Kearney, Coleraine, you know, who have had success. You just look at Gary Hamilton in a minute, Glenavon sitting top of the table. Is that something that helps you as well, knowing that other players can make that easy step into management, almost, you know, just going straight from playing career at a younger age? You know, is that something that helps?
I certainly noticed, like, over my time of being involved in Irish League football, the average age of teams have come right down. So it has, you know, whenever I started playing, like, I walked into the dressing room at Coleraine and I looked around the dressing room and then, you know, Stephen Beattie, Tony Gorman's, Pat McAllister. Now Pat McAllister is a hero of mine, so he still is. You know, but I looked around at the players that we had in that dressing room, like Garth McCauley and me were young players at the time too. You know, we looked up to people like that. We looked up to Davy O'Hare's and that, like, I mean, they were big senior players who carried us through. So it is, but the average age as the years have gone on has got lower and lower and lower. So it is. So I think kids nowadays, not there, the young boys coming through into the team, the younger ones can relate to boys who are a wee bit younger. You know, they can relate to Gary Hamilton because they've seen what he's done in his career. They can still see what he can do, what he's capable of on the training pitch, what he can bring to it. Like, I mean, and I think you can get a better rapport with the players nowadays. You know, managers not there years gone past and that, like, I mean, have been of a certain age and that, like, I mean, and they used to say the Irish League merry-go-round. You know, where one person left one club went to another. You know, I think that the times are changing. They're looking to freshen things up. People are getting coaching badges at a lot younger age now. The likes of Oren, who's doing a fantastic job at Coleraine as well. You know, but they made smart choices about who they have around them. You know, Gary Hamilton has like a Paul Miller, an experienced kind of coaching stuff around him. I know Oren Kearney down there at Coleraine has a Wes Gregg. You know, I mean, people like Wes Gregg and people like Wendy and that Miller and stuff, they're invaluable to coaches and stuff, and you need to surround yourself with the right people because it makes your job so much easier. But like I say, relating to the players not there, you have to relate to them. Like, I mean, they have to sort of respect you, absolutely. Like, I mean, they have to play for you, but you know, you have to relate to them as well. So they do and what they're and help them.
Obviously, one of your first tasks coming in as the new manager will be putting in place your backroom team. I'm sure that's something that's gone through your head a lot today, is it? Yeah.
It also just this name's popping up. Like, I mean, who I have people who I want to make contact with. Obviously, like, I mean, I will have me in contact with. And it's all about fitting in with them and stuff, I guess, making sure they're available and that they're fully aware of the commitment levels that it's going to take, because they're under no bones about it. Like, you know, it is a massive undertaking, it's a big commitment. So I certainly know people I've identified. You know, I know the people I think who could bring a lot to our club. You know, we need someone who's enthusiastic and has passion and belief in that, like, I mean, and again, it will be going back to people I played football with in the past and that, like, I mean, I was lucky enough to play with, and I know what they're like in the dressing room, and know what they bring. You know, the belief needs to be put back into the players, and they need to kind of stand up and be counted, like, so there's a big responsibility for us all, and there's senior players within our club already. You know, people like Glenn Taggart and that, they will have a big part to play in that, like, I mean, Tags has obviously been there and done it. You know, Eddie O'Kane's been there and done it, like, Dee Kern's been there and done it. You know, these boys are boys with you know, a lot of Irish League appearances. You know, they've won medals, not like to me, and I want to make sure they have the right hunger, the right desire to want to go out and win more medals, to achieve the next goal. And that, you know, people say about Ryan Giggs, why has he stayed the career that he had, and why is he kind of, because as soon as he won one thing, he wants to win the next one, and the next one, and the next one. You know what I mean? And that's the driving motivation I want our boys to have. You know, young boys need to get it from senior players. You know, if they don't look up to a D. Kern, if they don't look up to an Arioki and that, like to me, then they need to learn. You know what I mean? That this is what you would want to do. You want to have a career like that. You know what I mean? The boys, Rem McCann's as well, you know, they have had a long and successful career, you know what I mean? But by no means they've still got so much more to offer, you know, both in terms of experience, in terms of out there battling for performances and grinding out results and stuff like this here, which I fully expect them boys to do. So young kids not there need to look up to senior players, like, you know, and I'll be relying on the senior players to lead the boys through as well as myself.
Obviously, only 5 league games in this season. A lot of football left to be played. There's a clean slate for everyone, and the ambition.
Absolutely. You know, the ambition is still the same as what it was at the start of the season. It's promotion. You know what I mean? It has to be. You know, if we set ourselves a target of, you know, we'll finish in the top 3 or 4, and that, like, I mean, then we might as well just pack up now. You know, the ambition has to be to try and get out of this league. It's what the club's geared for. It's what we all want. You know, it's what everybody will strive to do. And until it's mathematically impossible, you know, we will fight for every last point. You know what I mean? And if we don't, then we will bring in players that will. You know, and that's as simple as that. And that's just football. You know, people have to understand that it's not a personal thing. He says if somebody's in the team and that, like, I mean, or not quite doing it and stuff like this here, you know, you need to have the team in there. Everyone producing the goods and the Saturday. We cannot afford to carry one player. We cannot afford to carry anybody at the club and that, like we do, and we won't. So we won't. Everybody will be out there, but everybody's got an opportunity now. So we have a clean slate, like you say. You know, it's maybe a blessing in disguise. We do have a couple of weeks grace there. You know, everybody, the Institute game's gone. We can't change the results, so we can't, unfortunately. But what we can do is start building from tomorrow night when I have the boys, even from today. And that there's some people maybe sitting at home thinking to themselves, I'm glad they changed. Maybe they weren't featuring. Maybe they will feature again. Like, I mean, you know, that's the opportunity they have. But it's up to them. It's how much they come up on a Tuesday and a Thursday and a Saturday, show what attitude and that, and the commitment they have. It's up to them. You know how much they want to play for Carrick Rangers. It's as simple as that.
Obviously, you've played under some big name managers in the past who you've had success under. You were a captain for a long period at Ballymena, featured under Tommy Roy Walker. You also famously were part of the Coleraine Irish Cup winning team, played under Marty Quinn. What do you think? Is there any manager in particular that you'd take out that you hope to almost, you know, replicate their style? Well, not if not replicate, take something out of their management style and bring it into your own.
I've been incredibly lucky, like, you know, and they've all had certainly different traits and different characteristics, and that I would certainly look to try and put into my own football style. It's a bit of a cliche, but I would like to take bits and pieces as every one of them, because every one of them were to a man were fantastic. You know, my earlier influences, and when I was a kid and out there, like, I was lucky enough that I played across the water for a few years and that with Chris Turner. As many that one's for Johnny Allison out there, so it's, you know, Sam Allardyce and people like that. But certainly when I started my career as a young age and that, like, so I had some really influential people, like say Chris Turner was an influential person on me because I was so young. You know, but coming back to the Irish League, you know, Paul Carrick at Distillery, a fantastic coach, and a good psychologist, and that there Paul would have been, you know, great about getting in the players' heads, making them feel really good about themselves, making them go out there and play with confidence. Fantastic at that. So it's Marty Quinn, one of the best man managers I ever had the pleasure of playing with. You know, Quinn was fantastic. Quinn would have fought tooth and nail for you, like, so he would have done anything for you, so he would have done, and that's hopefully I would certainly like to take a lot of Quinner into that. Like, I mean, Quinner gave a team talk. And you literally would have tears in your eyes and that there, and a lot of spirit in you, like, so that you wanted to go out and absolutely rip the door off the hinges to play for that man. And I loved it. Tommy had just commanded a lot of respect in that, so he did, from what he'd done in the game, extremely professional and extremely hard working. Hence why he's doing so well at St Johnstone now, because Big Tommy will leave no stone unturned. He'd be very fair about all his work with what he'd done, you know, and demanded a lot from people. Later on in my career, not like obviously then playing with Michael and stuff, and Roy Walker, Roy was brilliant, a philosopher, so I mean, but a philosophy for everything, like, so he did, and we antidote, and you know, and Roy was fantastic for me too in my later stages of my career again, where he looked after me, and yeah, he was fantastic for me too, and obviously the way he's done in the game and stuff, he speaks volumes for the man that he is. And then obviously the gaffer, you know, Michael Hughes is the best footballer I ever played with, I think, or right up there with Ida Good Johnson. There's another one for Johnny Addis. But sorry, Michael Hughes, see, in terms of determination, if I could bottle what he has, his will to win, his hunger and a desire, and how much it means to him every time he steps on the training ground and took into the games with him. If you could bottle that, like, I mean, you would win everything, just absolutely everything. I can only imagine that was something very similar to the way Roy Keane was. That single-minded determination to win everything, that every tackle, every second ball, every header, everything, he just wanted to win, and he was a winner. You know, and it's, you know, again, I can't speak highly enough of Michael, like, I mean, and I am disappointed he's no longer, he's still very much part of the club, and he's told me straight away, pick up the phone if you need me, Gary. He says, I'm here. He says, in any capacity you need me to, as much or as little as you want me to, and that's fantastic to have that like, in the background.
Part of what Michael has done in his, much over, since he took over as manager in December 2011, he's brought through a lot of local Carrick players, you know, who've grown up in the area, played for the youth teams, you know, just look at Johnny Addis, Ashton McDermott, Adam Dickaball signed, then you more recently Joseph Murray, Jackson Griffith. You know, you look at what they've done. Is youth and bringing up talent and youth from our own youth teams, is that a key component to have success?
Very much so, very much so. In this day and age, not like, I mean, where it is harder not there to go out and attract players to your club and stuff because of the travelling out there, unless you can financially reward people and that there, which obviously isn't part of it. Like it has to be, and for some people, it's maybe their motivation. Not like so, but with the young people coming through, we have to promote it. We have to kind of get a good stream of players coming through. We need a conveyor belt of the kids coming through. The mini soccer, the Michael Hughes mini soccer academy and stuff. Can we change the name of that? But the Michael's Academy and stuff coming through, but you'd hope to think in years to come that will bear fruits. Not if we're getting the kids at an early age, now this is what I teach for a job, this is what I do, to get the kids early, to teach them the right kind of technique, give them the right kind of technical ability, to make them feel comfortable on the ball, that they grow up with them good habits. You know, you see people like Ashton McDermott, like, I mean, Johnny Addis, you know, your son Jackson, you know, Joe, you know, you mentioned them, like the four of them boys, all very, very comfortable on the ball, all like to have the ball, not like all complaining out there, and I'm pleased to see Johnny going off and do well. I'm pleased to see Ashton McDermott do well, so as you know, they're great kids. You know, Jackson's currently at the minute down at Island McGee, so he is my brother-in-law, is one of the part of the management down there. I'm glad to see and getting reports on him that he's doing well down there, and he's pushing himself, and it's someone who will have a bright future at Carrick. You know, Joe's in the middle, in things at the middle. At the minute, and so the team that is sort of struggling at the minute, so it's hard for a young kid not there to throw him in there and expect him to sort of to really kind of shine and stuff. I guess it's not fair to put that burden on him. So it's not. So people like Joe not there need to be looked after and stuff like. But the training that he's getting and with the senior players that he's playing with and that is only going to do him the world of good. So certainly when we're going down, I'll make it a big part of my job not there to go down and speak to the managers of the under-18s, under-19s, speak to the boys at the youth level, and you know, and bring these kids along. I want to promote the kids, I want to bring them along and stuff, and have them in amongst the mix with the senior players. You know, maybe bringing a couple across so like to me train with us and stuff, just to get an idea of what it's about. You know, growing up as a kid, certainly in the Irish League and out there, 15 I went to play Crusaders, so I did, you know, just to get the better opportunities. I had to go to Belfast to get them. You know what I mean? So I went to the Cruise not there as a kid. I walked down them corridors, you know, people like Kurt Hunter, Sid Burrows not there were walking down corridors. Roy Walker was the manager with the best tash I've ever seen. So I was
but one of them too.
But the boss was there, I don't know about the tash, but I'm sort of fortunate I feel that's one, so but things like, you know, looking down them corridors not there, Stephen Baxter's, you know, big men not there, and I just wanted to be like that. Like, I mean, you know, it's memories not there, walking down the corridor and stuff not there, and seeing people like that coming past you, not like, you know, Glenn Hunters and that, Aaron Callahan's, Kevin McEwen's not there. But that means some people to the older people who, you know, obviously, but it's what I wanted so bad. I just wanted to be in that dressing room. I wanted to go out there and taste what an Irish League game felt like. You know, whenever there was the good crowds and that, like, I mean, and the atmosphere and even the smell of the ground, you can still smell it now. The liniment that I used to use and that down the legs and that. And it used to really, really inspire me, so it wanted me to try harder, it made me want to push harder. So hopefully the younger boys not there will see that, like, I mean, and it should be their ambition to want to play for their first team. It should be their ambition to push on in the Carrick, and they certainly get the opportunity if they can, you know, step up in the market, and they will get chances.
How big a factor are the supporters and the whole town of Carrick, for any future success we have this season? Was that another vital factor which is going on?
I think so.
Push
Like,
us
I mean,
along?
it's, you see, when you're not dealing with masses and masses of fans and stuff like this here, I think the more people there is in that day, the less of the faces you see. You'll just see a mass, like, do you know what I mean? He says, but when you are working with a close knit people, you know what I mean? There's a really good loyal following like that we have. Do you know what I mean? That goes to home and away games and that there. And when you can actually know individuals' names and individual faces, and you notice them. Do you know what I mean? And you go out there, like, I mean, and you represent them. I don't take that lightly. I never have. In any part of my career, have I ever taken anybody lightly or taken anybody for granted that turns to pay money to watch me play football? I mean, that's heartbreaking that must be for you all, like, I'm sure. But I've never taken that for granted, and nobody ever should. Nobody ever should. I know how our people were to earn their money. Because they could spend it on certainly other things and that there they could do with their lives and stuff, I guess, here, but they turn up, they come and support us and that there, and they're loyal, and like I say, you know, it deserves every respect that we can bestow upon them. You know, when get involved with the fans and that there, you know, 2 minutes of time, I always remember, but again, being a kid and stuff like this, yeah, what it meant to me whenever a first team player or someone would come and speak to me. It maybe wasn't for anything important, it maybe was just acknowledging I was even there, but I knew how much important it was to me. Do you mean, and much about the feeling that left me, like, I mean, like, everybody's the same, everybody just wants to kind of have a wee bit of time with people, like, so they do, and it doesn't take anything, it doesn't cost anybody any money, so it doesn't, to be courteous to the people and stuff, so certainly the boys not there, you know, it's something I will help promote, like, I mean, certainly to spend more time in that there, like, to get down in the dugout and stuff, I guess, they don't have to have a beer necessarily, like, I mean, with anybody, they can go down there, but down there and they're actually appreciating the people that is helping make the club sustainable, like, is putting them on that stage, you know, because if they don't turn up and they don't help, I mean, or don't do the work, and people at Carrick don't get behind the club and that there, and they don't help, and the business and that there don't try and help us out in some terms and financially and that there, if they can maybe sponsor a ball or sponsor a game and that, like, I mean, if we do not get that support now, like, I mean, them players won't get put on that there, out that stage to perform, and you know, and Carrick's a big town, like, so it is, you know, it's a massive town out there, and it deserves the success, and we want to see it brought back to the club. Premier League football is what it's all about, and that's the agenda, like, so for me and that there is where I'm trying my best to get the club to be, or will try my best to get them there.
Okay, as we approach the conclusion of our interview, I'm sure your phone's been going non-stop today. Have you had any particular messages from any?
Are you name dropping again, alright?
Well, I was told to get it in there.
Yeah. Well, you know, Big Garth McCauley's a good friend of mine, so yes, Johnny knows him well, so he does now too through Twitter, because he never done torch from the big man, so, you know, Big Garth and that, like, and all my close friends and that there have been in touch now, like Chrissy Brown and Garth McCauley, and
all your best mates.
All my mates, like, so, no, but people like that have been very kind, honestly. It's the family members and that, like, have been on with me, and it has, the phone's been going nuts and stuff like this here, and a lot of, I think it came as a shock to everybody, and it's a big surprise, not like, to me, hopefully I can justify Michael's faith that he's put in me, and everybody, all the well wishers not there, it's very much appreciated, like, you know, I'm going to need all the support I possibly can, but I just want to do the best I possibly can. I will do everything in my power to work as hard as I possibly can to do the best I can, and that's all I can promise. You know, it won't be through lack of effort, not their way, we won't be successful, so it won't, and that's all I can really do. You know, and I can assure you that the boys will give everything. They will give everything they can, like, to make this a success. It's because that's what we all want. Okay. You know?
Okay, well that concludes our interview, our exclusive interview with the new Carrick Rangers manager, Gary Haveron. Thank you, Gary, for the interview. Thanks for watching.